Alright, what's up, positive people? You got Dana here, and I haven't made a video about my old roomie in about a month, so I wanted to make one. I said a couple days, and we ended up a month went by. I'm sorry, y'all know to keep your expectations really low with me. But anyway, yeah, let's, I guess, wrap it all up here. How long did I end up staying with her? Like 4 months. So between her son being like totally cheated out of childhood and her nitpickiness about smells, I finally started also having issues with the fact that yeah, like everything that she told me about herself didn't really add up or make sense. One, because when we were getting together and making everything happen as far as becoming roommates, I was under the impression that she worked full-time as a doula, but I later came to find out that that's like what she was moonlighting as. Like, that wasn't actually her 9 to 5. She didn't have a 9 to 5. She's been on long-term disability for what I personally think, now looking back, was some sort of mental illness, and that was manifesting itself in how she was like living her life. Because it's like, you say that you're this really neat individual and you want things a certain way, and you've been reading all these books about clean eating and clean living on all this, but yet and still your compost is like next to where you sleep, and it just didn't add up. Like, there was all this emphasis on me if I left like a bowl and a spoon in the sink, but yet and still, like I said, she was composting by her bedside. So kind of what was the final straw for me and what spurred me to get the hell on was there wasn't a lock on my door. And like I said, we came with literally the clothes on our backside. Really didn't care that there wasn't a lock on the door. But what I was starting to find was someone would just open my door like all the time. I was finding that my stuff was being gone through, like it was getting out of hand. And there was one night in particular I will never forget. I'm sitting in my room, I'm on the computer, I was talking to friends. I was probably a little louder than I needed to be, but keep in mind that like, I'm minding my manners, I'm helping you clean, I'm helping you get your juices together and all this other stuff. Things that like I didn't really have to do, but because I was trying to like be mindful of the fact that I was getting this killer deal to stay where we were staying, I was putting up with just a lot of crazy, like way too much damn crazy. And what I was finding was, even though I was putting up with her crazy, she just seemed to get crazier and crazier as the days went. And I remember, like, like my door getting opened, and then that next morning seeing her, as I'm getting myself ready for work and like getting Marley ready for school. And I asked her, I'm just like, hey, did you open my door last night? Like, someone opened my door twice. Like, it just flew open twice. She's just like, man, I don't know. Must have been a gust of wind or something like that. Hella passive aggressive. You know what I mean? And it's like, I know it's not your son. You don't allow him to go anywhere besides the bathroom and back to the computer to play Minecraft. So I know it's not him. So it had to be you. Couple that with the fact that I was told when I moved in that I wasn't allowed to have male guests, but a month into my stay, her ex-husband was making his rounds in and out of the house on a regular basis. Now, one of the conditions of me staying there was every now and then, if she felt up for it, I'd leave Marley with her. And this helped a lot, especially when I was job hunting and things like that. So I ended up like deading that soon after, because it's like, well, I don't know this man. I don't know him from a can of paint. You refuse to answer any questions about him. I just don't feel comfortable. So I stopped leaving. Like, I don't even think she watched Marley maybe 1 or 2 days before I was just like, yeah, if you're just going to have him here and you're not going to give me the heads up about it, I don't know how I should feel. Also, too, it's like, if this is your man and you're trying to work it out, why doesn't he ever let you go to his house with your son? Like, again, a lot of things just didn't add up. She was expecting the world of me and not expecting for me to expect something from her back. And like I said, I think it had a lot to do with the fact that like I was getting this killer deal and stuff like that. So I started, putting my little ducats to the side to prepare myself for the move. I ended up finding my last roommate before I got my place. Which, child, that's a whole nother set of like stories, because it's like I traded in my crazy hippie, you know what I'm saying, bone marrow soup sipping roommate for somebody who was a lot more laid back and everything, but also wasn't really doing a good job of keeping their house in order. So I say all of that to say that looking back, the situation was crazy hellish. I don't feel like anybody should just go into the roommate thing blind, because I think, I almost feel like it's virtually impossible to find somebody on Craigslist who's like normal on the level and won't give you no issues. Like literally this girl went from like being normal to like switching on me overnight, you know? I just keep thinking back to like me working like part-time at Macy's, and you know what I'm saying, I was confiding in her early on in our staying together because I thought she was cool. So, you know, I was saying to her, like, yeah, you know, I'm looking for jobs and having a hard time finding them. And I really believe in my heart of hearts that the reason why she switched up was because she thought she could get away with being an insufferable bitch, and her thinking that because I was a single mother that I didn't have options, that I wasn't, you know, putting my ducks in a row. Like, I really believe that's probably what was on her mind, because she really started showing her ass, like really started showing her ass. It was the door opening, it was the, like, it had gotten to the point where, like I said, I was using overpriced soaps, I was using overpriced laundry detergent, I'm using all this all natural shit, you know what I mean? Like, your house smells like ass and soybeans, and you're sitting up here talking to me about the fact you smell some perfume on me, because God forbid I work in a place that sells perfume and some might get in my shirt or something. But yet and still she was picking and choosing when this sensitivity would crop up on me. I have a much deeper appreciation for people that have family members, loved ones in their lives who deal with like severe mental illness, or I hate to say it, even delusion, because I feel like for her a lot of it was delusion. Like, she'd lied about the fact that she worked full-time, she'd lied about the severity of her son's autism. Like, I just saw a pattern with her that led me to believe that things weren't all good mentally for her. And I really do hope that, like, at this point, you know, because like I said, at the time her son was 12 or 13, like, he's literally in puberty now. Like, I would hope that at this point she's let go somewhat and allowed for him to get some of, you know, some of that back, because now it's like the kids, you know what I'm saying, he's gonna be 18 eventually, you know what I'm saying, and eventually that kid's gonna figure out, hey, it's not me who's got an issue, it's my mom, and she's using me probably as a crutch for more money on disability. Like, I hate to say it, that boy wasn't as badly as autistic as she was saying. And I know this, like I said, because I took the time to talk to this kid. Marley would hang out with him. Like, if he did have issues, you know, with dealing with people, I never got that vibe. I got nothing but eye contact from him. He was super sensitive, like a gentle soul is the best word. Like, he just, like, you could tell that he was really yearning for interaction with people. And you know what I'm saying, his mom just decided otherwise. Like, I remember I would take Marley up to the bus stop with the rest of the other parents, and people would ask me about the fact that I stayed with someone, because literally my roommate had, you know what I'm saying, pretty much boarded herself up in the house outside of like leaving to go to like Whole Foods or Trader Joe's for like stuff for her concoctions. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I passed by the old house that we stayed in, where, you know, we were in that little basement apartment or whatever, and everybody that used to be there is gone. So like I said, I think if nothing else too, I almost dodged a bullet, because even the owners of that home no longer live in that home. So for all I know, when they left, probably my roommate had to leave too. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. If y'all have any other questions about my old roommate, let me know. If you want to see more videos like this, I have so many other stories. But yeah, man, it's been great, it's been muggy, it's been nasty. I want to get back outdoors and do stuff, but I'm black and rain don't mix with natural hair, so we're not out here in these streets heavy outside of like hitting up local spots. I've been doing a lot of Amazon Prime Nowing because of the weather. That's probably not good for my pockets, but you know, what do? You make the best of a situation. Winter seems to be dragging on. It's been crazy gray. Like, help us all, you know? Everybody's attitude stinks around here because we're all vitamin D deficient. So yeah, man, till later. Peace, positive people.